Welcome to part 2 of When Teaching Hurts. And remember, as we finished, we said it's not only teaching that hurts, but any service that is given to human beings. Any service that is given to human beings will hurt because you'll be dealing with people's problems and people's suffering. Nursing, doctors, pastors, we talked about military, people in the military, policemen. This is just a group of people that deals with human beings, the human resource people, because they're exposed to other people's suffering. They get what is called compassionate fatigue. And because of the suffering that they see in other people, that sometimes they are not able to help. So what are the other things that hurt the teacher? We are in a country that has layers upon layers of prevalent trauma that has not been dealt with, all the way from colonialism. That changed the dynamic of the family and the hurt and the pain that those that fought for independence went through has been passed on from generation to where we are right now. And this affected the setup of the family. Think back of what the family was like before colonization. The family had structure where children would learn from their elders, where community, the villages came up to bring up the child, where the child was important in the communities. And they went through a lot of intentional parenting in the communities to bring up the child. But what happened after colonization and even after Kenya got its independence, people were hurting because of the cruelty, because of what they experienced in the hands of the colonialists. And that changed the dynamic of the family that has been changing all along. So when you look at that hurt that our grandparents had, some of them went to the grave with things that they saw that were horrible: the terror, the deaths, the rapings, the betrayals, the injustices that happened then. They would talk about it, but just up to a point. Some of it, they never got to talk about it. And that changed them as a person. That kind of trauma has a way of changing you as a person, and your life is never the same. So as they were parenting our parents, we can say they were parenting our parents through trauma. And so this led to the lack of being heard of our parents. They were never heard in the homes, the beatings that happened in the name of discipline, the name calling, the scoldings. Remember, hurt people hurt other people. And so as our grandparents were mothering and parenting our parents, they were parented through the horrors and the terrors that were in the background of the colonialists and the colonialism and what they went through. Then our parents, now when they were parenting us, because we parent the way we were parented, they passed on the same. Remember the paradoxical talk where a mother would say, "I've gone to the market, burn the baby," or she would come from work and then she'd be like, "You have not cooked. Now I'm here, eat me." Such things. And there was shame. And there was the child then, us. We were there to be seen and never to be heard. So what happened? We were silenced. And anytime a human being is silenced, that means then they are not being seen, they are not being heard. Then they find ways to be seen and to be heard. And that is where you're finding the Gen Z now in 2024 and 25 are saying enough is enough. So when this person goes to class, they are going to class as a hurting people, even though the hurt may not necessarily be seen. But these students that are in class come from many various different homes, going through some transgenerational trauma upon trauma. The parents themselves have passed through all that. The teachers themselves are going through their own stuff. So when you put all that together, then somehow you'll find students who are angry, students who are disobedient, disrespectful, parents who really don't care much about their parenting and what they are doing. That hurt and that trauma that is historical also is passed into the parenting styles. You find their parents who are very authoritarian. All they do is that they are very strict, because some of them are fighting demons all the way from their own parent, the way they were parented. And we say that you parent the way you're parented. And so that change needs to happen. But if before it happens, then you find that the teacher really has a very hard time in class. The parents are not supportive, the students are not cooperating, the management, especially those that were not teachers before, they take the schooling part as a business. Then you find that in the business world, the client is always right. So the parent will come terrorize the teacher, and the teacher has nobody to be on their side except themselves. And now the teacher is left wondering, so what am I supposed to do? The parent is wrong here, but management says they are right, they are the customer. The child here is suffering. What do I do? And these are some of the things that really hurt the teacher, because the teacher wants to change a life, but their hands are tied. There is no cooperation between the stakeholders that should be cooperating. So the historical trauma and the societal trauma, including what we have been seeing last year with the Gen Z and this year again with the Gen Z, whatever happens in our political spaces where the president is not respected in this country, and the students are seeing that, and to them they see, so this is how we deal with challenges. If we have been eating this and we don't want to eat it anymore, what do? Let's burn the dome, because again, nobody is listening. The other thing that is tied to that is the silencing of the students' voices, of the teachers' voices. The government doesn't listen to what the teacher is going through. Some years ago, around 2006, disciplining in school was banned, but there was no alternative that was given to the disciplining of the students. And then so the teachers' hands were tied where disciplining is concerned, because everything you do nowadays, you put on social media. Others write letters to their relatives and friends in high places in this country, and so you find we are raising a generation of students that has no respect at all in the classes, even in the workspaces, on the roads, and that is going to come to bite us at some point in this country. But then again, the teacher again has all these 35 children, and to only listen and obey authority and have respect for authority. So that is really going to hurt, because the teacher now doesn't know how to manage the students or what to do when the students are doing wrong things. The other thing that hurts the teacher is poor pay. Many teachers are really paid very poorly. And then the work that they're expected to do is so much. And let me tell you, I believe, and to this day, and I believed even when I was a teacher, that nobody can pay the teacher. The things the teacher does, some that are seen and some only God sees, God and that student that is being helped, you cannot understand. And nobody can pay the teacher, only God. And I wish many schools would pay their teachers well. As much as what they do cannot be paid, at least they should be remunerated well, because the teacher does a lot to help the student, to help bring up that student in 1 year that they are going to be with them, even as they meet in the other classes, to build character. Sometimes as a teacher, you have to be the judge. You're here resolving cases. Sometimes you're policeman to come and keep some order. Sometimes your mother, because this student's parents, mother is nowhere. Maybe they're out of the country doing their education. Sometimes you have to be father, because the student here has no authority. There's no one speaking into their life as a male. Sometimes you're called to be the nurse. They are hurt, they are sick. You're called to be the doctor. I mean, you are all rounded, speaking into this child's life. Sometimes you're the pastor, because you'll have to pray for them and over them to just see them go right. And then you still have to do your role as a teacher. It's a lot. It's a lot. Sometimes we were in places where we were feeding. Children would come to school early. Maybe they didn't have breakfast. And you just mix for them something to eat, to drink. And if you have some piece of bread, you give them. Or you'd make sure that every day you have bread for them to eat. Teaching them how to wear pads. I mean, that is something a parent should be doing. But you'd find you're the one who's doing it in class. And the parent doesn't even know that you're doing this for their children. And so poor pay is something else that hurts the teacher. And sometimes teachers find themselves in domestic loans that they should not be taking because they're living hand to mouth, which is really sad for the teacher. The other thing that hurts the teacher is their own issues. We are human and we are living in a fallen world. We are living in difficult times. There are challenges in this life. And just because somebody is a teacher does not mean that these things don't follow. They come. And you find that the teacher is hurting because of his or her own hurts in their own family. The griefs and losses, maybe they've lost a loved one, they have lost maybe some money they were putting up for some extra income, or their relationships are not working. That will also really hurt the teacher. The other thing also that hurts the teacher is lack of a voice where they are working. You find that some administrations do not listen to their teachers, yet their teachers are the ones on the ground. Somebody will sit there in their office and make all the rules and regulations from up there without consulting the people who are on the ground, who have the information that can change and transform the school. And so you find sometimes the teacher is backed in a corner and they have to follow things that have been passed on by the administration that really don't make any sense just because, parent customer so and so said this, so that goes, yet it may not be the right thing. And some students would tell the teacher, it is my right to do this and this. My father knows, I don't know the CS of education, so there's nothing you can tell me, such things. And that really hurts because then the teacher is not able to do their work well. Those are just some of the things. And I'm sure there are other things that hurt the teacher, but those are some of the things that the teacher has to go through every day as they work with these children that really hurt. And over time, that becomes really stressful. But then as a teacher, what can you do to help yourself deal with all that hurt? Because the job you're doing is a wonderful job. And teachers, this world will not go around without you. Because everybody that we see out there has passed through your hands, and you have passed on the knowledge, the information, the life skills, the social skills, the spiritual skills, the intellectual skills, for them to go out there and be counted as good citizens of this country and beyond. Because everywhere you go, you'll find a Kenyan somewhere who's passed through a Kenyan teacher's hands. What can you do as a teacher? Number one, acknowledge and accept where you are. What are you going through in your own life? So that when you're going to work, you leave home at home. The things that are happening at home, leave them at home. So that you can show up and be present as a teacher in school. And when you're leaving work in the evening, leave school at school. So that you can be able to go home and be the father, be the mother, be the wife, be the husband, be the sister. And that is basically talking about life-work rhythm. Something that works for you work-wise. Take care of your relationships. We say that quality of your life is determined by the quality of your relationships. Take care of your relationships. Don't be caught up in funny situationships that bring and add no value for you. And if you're in a relationship where, a romantic relationship, for example, where you're being abused, your safety comes first, because this will make you sick, and you because you're hurt, you will go and hurt the students in your class and the other people around you. What else? Do exercise. And exercise today has come on our smartphones. If you can't be able to go to a gym, exercise in the morning before you go to work. Why in the morning? Because then your body is able to wake up and get energized. Then you have energy to go to work and be able to do the things you're supposed to do. It doesn't have to be a 3-hour exercise. Even 10 minutes a day, that will do. Just 10 minutes. Go to YouTube and look for what you want. If you're like me who likes dance, look for a dance exercise thing for 10 minutes. They're there. So you do that every morning as you're doing your quiet time. I'm a person of faith, so I believe in quiet time. I would incorporate that then when I was teaching, just to get my head and to call on God to come and help me as I go to deal with the future citizens and the future leaders of this country. The other thing that really helped is hold on to your faith. For me, my faith really is important for me, and I anchor myself on God at all times, even in class, at home, whatever I'm doing, even this that I'm doing now. I realize that I cannot do it without God. And there are times when I would be in class and something, and this child is just doing something, this student is doing something, and I'm feeling like, ja, what is this? And I'd be like, God, give me the wisdom and help me be able to control my mouth, my hand, so that I am not caught doing something that is not right to this child. And sometimes when it got a bit too much, I would just step out of class, breathe in, breathe out 3 times outside there, or go to the next class and borrow something and just come back to my class and find that I have been able to calm down. Hydrate well. Drink lots of water. Because of the talking that we do, you need to be well hydrated. A body that is well hydrated reduces stress. When you are dehydrated, you are susceptible to stress because of the dehydration. So drink lots of water. Aim for at least 2 liters per day or more. Like now it's really hot, so you'll be losing lots of water through sweating and the walking up and down and all that you'll be doing. So hydrate well. Then eat a well-balanced meal. And balanced meals don't have to be expensive. They don't have to be expensive. Eat well. A body, again, that is well-fed is able to withstand all the stresses that our career comes with, the teaching career comes with. Because when you're not, again, well-fed, that raises your risk for stress higher. Find good ways of managing your stress. Yes, you will be stressed by your own life. You'll be stressed by the students in your class. You'll be stressed by the parents. You'll be stressed by management. You'll be stressed by the government. You'll be stressed on the road as you're going to, as you're going to work. So find ways that work for you to be able to reduce your stress. This could be including the exercise that will really help manage your stress. Calling the stress, giving it a name. We say that you can't tame what you can't name. Be able to say, hi, today I am feeling stressed because 17 of my students have not done the assignment, and find out why did they do the assignment. Is it being cheeky? But you find some of them really have genuine reasons why the work wasn't done. Then collaborate with them to see how that work can be done. Learn to collaborate with students in your class. Don't be like the colonialist and that was passed on, that we silence those that we want to control. CBC doesn't allow for that. So you cannot be an 844 teacher in CBC curriculum, or that is going to really stress you. Check yourself, self-reflect. Socrates says that an unexamined life is not worth living. Keep self-examining yourself so that you can make yourself better and see, how am I adding to my stress? How can I reduce my stress? How can I delegate this to help me be able to do this better? How do I deal with these relationships that are not working? How do I deal with the managerial issues that are coming? My way, and we say that may God give us the serenity prayer. May God give us the courage to accept what we cannot change. Because the manager is there, that is their school. You are just an employee. There are some things that you may never really be able to change. And so instead of stressing yourself over that, why don't you accept and say, this is managerial, I can't change this, but in my class, I can be able to change, what I can change. What else can you do? Talk to somebody about what you're going through, whether they are your own life challenges, but look for a safe person to talk to. Don't talk to the one that goes spreading gossip in the school. Many schools nowadays have counselors. They have therapists in their schools. See them. I know certain churches offer free counseling. That is something you might want to tap into so that you can talk to them and be able to see the stress that I'm carrying. Is it my own or is it the work? and realize that in life work rhythm, it is important that you consider yourself, that you be self-compassionate about yourself, love yourself, and be able to give yourself the same compassion that you're giving your students. Then rest, and rest well. During the weekends, if you're not going to work, don't be the one doing everything and being all over the place, because by Monday you're going to be tired. By Tuesday you'll be feeling like it's Friday, So rest well during the weekends, rest well during the weekdays, sleep at a good hour. Try to get at least 6 to 7 hours of sleep every night. That is a good rest period, so that you're fresh and ready for the next day. Realizing that our generation, the kids we are teaching, are very energetic. So when you're not well rested, they will drive you up the wall. Check out for burnout and compassionate fatigue. Burnout is when you're feeling irritable, you're feeling tired, psychologically, emotionally, physically, you're just done, you're just tired. And sometimes you might go to hospital, and then the doctor will tell you, hey, you need some rest. Check out for compassionate fatigue. Compassionate fatigue is burnout on steroids. Here is where you feel you're times 10 irritable. You're angry. You don't want to work as a teacher anymore. You wake up in the morning and you don't want to go to work. When you start seeing those signs, then you know that is compassionate fatigue. And sometimes it will help you to journal down what you're feeling. Journal the thoughts, journal the emotions, and journal the behavior. What you're doing is just getting that out of your system, so that it is not stored in. And when you're going to class, you're just seeing red. You just don't want to be in that space. The other thing is, pray for your students and pray for yourself. Keep praying that God will give you the strength to push on the year. And thank God the year is coming to an end. You just have a few more weeks, then school closes. Map out your holiday. What are you going to do to rest, to rejuvenate yourself, so that January you're ready for another year. But when you feel in your core of heart that for sure this isn't working for you anymore, then you start launching out. What else can you do? With the teaching skills that you have. And teaching is such a great career that it's a great foundation for many other things that you can do. Mentorship, you can do coaching, but it needs planning and praying into, not just deciding, I'm tired, I'm left, I'm going. That isn't wise. There needs to be wisdom, because there are times you feel like, I'm at the end. Like for me at 29 years, I knew, I don't think I want to keep doing this anymore. I'll do something that is in touch with what I've been doing teaching, but I knew I was done teaching students, especially at the lower levels, and at primary or high school. I knew I had come to an end. And so I knew now it was time to venture into something else. And so I started praying and asking God, what else can I do? And that is how I landed here. So I'm here cheering you on. I'm here celebrating you. And I'm one person who understands what you're going through as a teacher. But guess what? You're changing lives. You're changing nations. You're changing generations. Somebody comes to that school because you're there. There's a student who comes to that class and you smile. Just you calling their name and you seeing them is what keeps them going. So all is not lost. This career may hurt sometimes, but the rewards are amazing. And may God bless you for what you're doing. Thank you.